Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Boxing for boxing. Nah, man. Man. Anthony Joshua took the biggest loss of his career with the KO loss to Andy Ruiz, man. And whose fault was this really? Was this Eddie Hearn's fault? Or did Anthony Joshua underestimate Andy Ruiz? Now, let's think about this real quick, man. Crazy stuff, man. The biggest loss in boxing, man. That was shocking. No one's seen it coming. But let's dive deep. Now, I remember Eddie Hearn and the whole Kell Brook situation and playing this whole last minute replacement fighter thing, right? The last big fight, I remember Eddie Hearn replacing a high profile fighter. It was supposed to be Triple G versus Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. had demands that Eddie Hearn didn't want to meet for whatever reason. And apparently he thought it would be a great idea to throw a middleweight against a welterweight, right? Triple G versus Kell Brook happened. And that was easily the fight that destroyed Kell Brook's career. You know, that was a fight that Kell Brook was actually doing phenomenal in for his size. And in the end, he got broken down and had a broken eye socket because of it, right? I think it was his right eye socket that got broken from a Triple G left hook. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was his left. It could be his right. I don't know. One of the two. But crazy stuff, man. And basically, after that point, Kell Brook was never the same. He took his first loss. Confidence dropped. And he wasn't the same anymore. And then after that, he had to fight Errol Spence Jr. You know, another tough fight that Kell Brook should have just not took that fight, man. He should have vacated the title. He should have went up to weight 154. He could have lit a lot of things, but two tough fights like that after you had your eye socket broken in your previous fight against one of the hardest punchers in boxing, Triple G, you know, that was a bad move as well. Now back to heavyweight, man. Eddie Hearn replaced Joe Miller with Andy Ruiz, man. That was the biggest mistake that Eddie Hearn could have did. Why he put him in there with Andy Ruiz is beyond me. Now, Anthony Joshua has been beating a lot of fighters, you know. So I guess not a lot of people thought Andy Ruiz had much of a chance. But I was telling people how Andy Ruiz is extremely quick and extremely strong and how this is going to be a dangerous fight. You know, look at my archives. I didn't say Anthony Joshua was going to walk through this guy and how this is a bum. I didn't say anything like that about Andy Ruiz. I kept talking about how Andy Ruiz is a great fighter. He's very underestimated. You know, the fact is, if you're going to make a debut in a whole nother country on a brand new app, you don't do it against a veteran, man. You do it against a bum. You pull like Tyson Fury. You fight at Tom Schwartz. Nobody knows in America who that is. But guess what? Tyson Fury is making his American debut on ESPN, and he's going to fight a bum for a reason. It's just to show out and show people that you have power, that you're exciting, and it's more about personality and how the crowd receives you. You know, it's like going to a job interview. You know, you want to look as best as possible. You want to show you want to show dominance in whatever trade you're in. And you know, Anthony Joshua's in the boxing trade. Taking on Andy Ruiz was extremely dangerous. I thought that's like the worst fight he could have took. I talked about. I look at my title. I have it titled "Fastest Boxer Against Slowest Fighter," and I talked about how Andy Ruiz is too quick for Anthony Joshua, and he thinks like 3-4 moves ahead of time. He's short, so he's used to people having the reach advantage on him. So he's used to you throwing punches and him being ready for a counter, or he's used to throwing combinations, and he's used to people trying to catch and shoot. Or try to react to him, but he's ready for you to try to counter him so he can counter you. This is an extremely dangerous fight for Anthony Joshua, and Eddie Hearn basically put him in a situation that gave, you know, Ruiz this opportunity in the first place. You know, of all opponents he could have picked, he picked Ruiz, and that was dangerous, man. That was dangerous. There's a lot of circumstances that led to Anthony Joshua losing. When Anthony Joshua dropped Andy Ruiz in the second round, you can clearly tell that Anthony Joshua thought he's going to pull Deontay Wilder and just get this guy quick and just throw all kind of combinations and stop Andy Ruiz. As soon as I see Andy Ruiz get hurt and then him pop up, and then Anthony Joshua decided to throw out a million punches to end Andy Ruiz, at that point, I knew it was going to be over. Because Andy Ruiz is a combination puncher and he's faster than Anthony Joshua. So he got caught with left hook. Anthony Joshua at that point in the fight should have do what he does best and threw power and accuracy. But instead of being precise with his punches, he thought he can just throw a 9-punch combination and try to get him out with one of those punches, which it didn't happen. He should have just picked his shots carefully, and then he could have ended him. You see it all the time in boxing, like a veteran fighter, when he hurts a guy, he'll take his time to end him. An amateur will hurt a guy, and as soon as the guy gets up, he'll just go wild on him, and then they get caught. It's classic, happens all the time in boxing. So, man, I was shocked that Anthony Joshua, he fought like an amateur that night by having Andy Ruiz hurt, and then next thing you know, he's trying to look like, he's trying to look like Andy Ruiz, and he's trying to fight like Andy Ruiz all of a sudden is throwing like a million punches. When you knocked him down, we dropped him with 2 clean punches. All you need to do is land some more clean punches to do it again. Anthony Joshua wasn't throwing all kind of combinations. When he dropped Ruiz, it was a short a right uppercut and left hook that dropped him in the first place. He could have did the same thing, but instead he tried to, in my opinion, I think he was looking past Andy Ruiz, and he was trying to beat Deontay Wilder and knocking out Dominic Brazil by KO. He was trying to look impressive like that. So instead of, fighting his fight, he tried to be impressive. And then when he tried to be impressive, he basically got caught. I never thought at any time in this camp that Anthony Joshua actually seen Andy Ruiz. I think he underestimated him. And he probably was just thinking about Wilder the whole time and not trying to outdo Wilder. Because Andy Ruiz is a dangerous fighter. But it's not a fight he should have took, at least not a short notice, not like that. It was getting to a point in boxing where people weren't concerned about people's styles anymore, at least for Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua. They were more concerned about them fighting each other than whoever they're fighting. Everyone was just a bum instead of looking at the guy in his face in front of him and saying, hey, this guy's dangerous. We need to focus on style, and we need to have a counter for it. Because Anthony Joshua didn't seem to know what to do for Andy Ruiz's combination punching. Anthony Joshua's defense was just non-existent this fight. Even when he was dodging punches on the outside from Andy Ruiz, it was like a lazy defense. Like he just had his hands down, dodging the punches, but he didn't try to counter or anything. It was crazy. Like there's times where Andy Ruiz would reach out and stay right like 3 or 4 times before he got, and then like Anthony Joshua would dodge it, but he won't do anything else. And it was just sort of a shocking, non-existent game plan for Andy Ruiz. That's how I can tell that he didn't plan too much for him, and it's really Eddie Hearn's fault because he thought he was going to give him some guide, and then probably reaffirm to Anthony Joshua, hey, this guy's not a big deal, you can stop him, and that's why Anthony Joshua got his first L. Now, that being said, man, I already broke it down for you guys. The late replacement thing for Eddie Hearn is the reason why Anthony Joshua lost his fight. He did it to Brook, late replacement, and then he did it to Anthony Joshua, late replacement. If you're going to replace somebody, he should replace someone who's not a threat. If you're going to do that, you got to do that. I don't care what no one says, man. If someone fails a test or whatever, when you get someone in, get a bum. If they pay for their money at their tickets for Joe Miller and then they got a bum, that's too bad. You know what I mean? That's too bad. So, in the end of the day, this is Eddie Hearn's fault. He should have got a better fight. He should have got a bum to make his debut anyway. When you're trying to look good in front of the American audience, you don't want a tough fight for Anthony Joshua. You want a fight that's an easy win for him to get him just acclimated to the American audience. His second and third fight could have been a tough fight. But his first fight in America, this shouldn't have been a tough fight. So that's all Eddie Hearn, man. It's all Eddie Hearn. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about it, though, man. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.